What is going on, true believers? War, maybe. I don't know. It looks like we've got some problems continue to manifest themselves. About 5.5 hours ago, a freighter, the MSC Ares, was taken by Iran going through the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, is located in between Iran, UAE, and Oman. So it is suspected to be an Israeli vessel. Also, an Israeli child of 14 years old was found to be uh, killed, and no information has been released about that. But we don't know that that has anything to do with what's going on in the Middle East right now. That could be, something that has nothing to do with it. Now, the threat is still considered to be imminent, so the recovery for Bitcoin hasn't really been as robust as one might think at this point. So that begs the question what to do now. Well, we're going to use this opportunity for a trade. So I think if you guys don't mind, we're gonna make a trade. I'm partnered with a new group down here, KCEX. Now, the reason that I am is because MEXC. If you guys don't know, MEXC is now requiring full KYC. KCEX was referred to me through MEXC because this is a fully liquid new non KYC startup that popped up a little while back, and they have high liquidity, and that means, of course, that they have the funding in order to keep this wheel spinning, if you will. So if you haven't, consider signing up for KCEX. I'm going to put the link in the description down below. I just got my affiliate link today, so it would certainly help me out greatly if you did that. As a matter of fact, while I'm doing this, we're going to go over to KCEX. I'm going to put it into the description down below, and then you guys can sign up over there. So along with that, they were gracious enough to give me $200 to enter a position, and as payment for it's being sponsored here. So we're gonna break this down. We're gonna get into this, and we're gonna make a trade. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do now. I am, to be fair, looking at, in my opinion, I'm looking at Bitcoin, saying, you know what, the easiest move, if you will, is going to be Bitcoin. The reason it's going to be the easiest one is because I don't think that it's going to fall apart, if you will. So I think that any kind of big downward momentum or anything like that probably already happened. So if it's already happened, then the worst is behind us. Now, could it continue to go down? Of course, it could continue to go down. We're not going to use high leverage. We're going to use, well, you know what? I continue to say that, but I'm not really sure yet. I don't really know what this position is going to be. Maybe you guys are going to be the ones that are going to tell me exactly what we need to do. But what I think we should do, I think everybody should consider at least that, we're doing this over the weekend. Could we continue to dump? Well, let's go look at the charts real quick. We'll kind of pull this up. You guys can see it. I did make some changes. If you notice, everything's like moving all swirly and cool and all of that BS. So let's kick this off and let's see how this works out. All right. So this is a Bitcoin chart right now, coming from KCEX. Bitcoin trading at 66,800. Now, I'm continuing to just kind of watch, and I'm waiting for that entry point. Now, when I'm looking at Bitcoin, I see the entry point. We're kind of in this range right here, and as you zoom kind of out here, you'll find that this is the point of control region, and we're going a little bit below that, and we're at the bottom of the node, if you will, over here. And if you don't know what that means, basically this is your volume profile on the left, and it's showing me where high trading volume exists. High trading volume, the biggest, the point of control, if you will, is this big blue line right here, and then you can see that that's where we are right now. But if you move down here just a little bit more, you can see this is an entire range as this point of control. We're towards the bottom of that. Now, if that breaks down, that means that the next point or the next region that we're going to enter is going to be right there, in this additional blue line, which I'm going to make it green, and then I'm going to make it 4x over here. So you can see that line right there. So that would appear to be the next move. So then the question would be, do I want to wait for that? Do I want to wait for that move, or am I looking to do something else? Am I looking for uh, another anything really? You know what I mean? So let's go through this. I'm going to use high IQ indicator, by the way, and we're going to see if we got any buy signals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the time frame because I'm not looking for a long entry. Most of the long entries have been kind of, like just catch it if you can, so to speak. But we're going to move down to the 30-minute, and we're just going to look around and we're going to see, do we see anything going on? But before we do, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. So let's check this out. So here's what's going on. The MSC, Mediterranean Shipping Company, confirms that the MSC Ares vessel was boarded by Iranian authorities via helicopter. And holy shit! And that's the picture that you saw on the thumbnail. It's actually kind of wild here. This image, little image right here, you can see, and this little piece right here, you can see, like this was this is a helicopter dropping down. This is the image of it, and you can see live. Uh, it's a you can see them landing right here, and they've got people rappelling down onto this vessel in order to seize and or take control. Now, it's not confirmed, by the way, that it is an Israeli vessel at this point, but they called it Israeli related. Now, this begs the question: is this just the first start of the pieces as they're kind of falling into place? Could we be looking at, this is a small retaliation, and does this end the conflict? Does this change anything? I'm not sure that it will or that it does. There's a lot to unpack on this. So when we look at this and when we see it, on the surface, this is just a ship being seized. This is not a bunch of people being killed that we know of so far. Iran's official news agency, IRNA, shared footage showing a person rappelling from a helicopter to board a ship, which it said was a Portuguese flagged and connected to Israel. So that's what's happening in the region at this point. So the crew had 25 members aboard. We're working closely with relevant authorities to ensure their well-being and safe return of the vessel. Now, if it's from Portugal, the question would be, how is it, Israel related? And it could have been that it stopped in Israel, made a delivery, or it made a pickup in Israel for shipping of some sort. So British maritime safety firm Ambry said Zodiac Maritime has encountered Iranian hostile acts in the past due to Israeli ownership. This is not the first time that this has happened. So does this escalate things? I don't think that it does. I think this is one of those moves that maybe isn't as bad, if you will. What does this look like? So this is the Strait of Hormuz, coming right through here, and Iran right here, Oman, UAE, down here at the bottom of the screen. That's the area. This is what it looks like. So I don't know that this is going to be an escalation. So I think what we should do is just kind of to look at the price action, and we're already seeing a bounce right here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a long position. We're going to do a 20x to be aggressive on it. Uh, we're just going to open the long. Let's just do it and see what happens. So my liquidation threshold is going to be down a little bit. It's going to be 64,005. Now, I'm not sure at this point what their funding fee is or anything like that. I'm still learning KCEX. Again, if you haven't already, consider signing up. KCEX, I just put it in the link down below. So, let's see how this plays out for a little while. Now, again, I don't have this. I'm using a 20x. This is pretty aggressive right now, but it's a throwaway $200. Just for clarity here. So estimated liquidation is going to be 64,000 until the funding fee starts getting taken out, which will make that margin go down just a little bit. So I'm gonna be looking at this as a swing. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see this thing kind of move up into the range of 68,000. If it goes to 68,000, then I would consider that to be a pretty decent win. So let's see how this goes. We're going to add a TP here at 68,000. That'll be a win of 62. You know what? We're going to go. Let's just, let's take it to 70,000. No, you know what? For the moment, we're gonna take this to 74,000, and we're gonna just leave it at 74,000 for the moment. So, in the event that anything radical happens and we get, like, a nice pop or something like that, and there's a big recovery underway, again, I still think that 86,000 is gonna be the next big move, but if we get a little headwind in the right direction, then we're gonna be looking at 74,000 at least. So we'll throw 74. We're gonna throw 74 right there and just kind of leave this and let it sort of marinate, if you will. By the way, I don't think you should expect to see anything big happening over the weekend. We're not going to see like a massive move on the weekend. If anything, we're going to see a massive move, Monday or Sunday night, something like that. So right now, we did see this again. This is like a 15-minute chart or something like that. I think. I guess I should have looked. Yeah, 15-minute chart. So this is a 15-minute chart. So you can see like we had this move from 65 down here. And by the way, if you're looking, we're going to move over to Trading View, if you will, and we're going to look at Bitcoin on a bigger time frame here. And you'll get what people are calling a double bottom. Well, in fact, it'd be like a triple bottom at this point. But we had this move down here, boom. Then we had this move down here, boom. So now it should be upward and onward. Now, of course, with a conflict out here in the middle of nowhere, we don't know how this ends. We don't know, we don't know what the next real play is going to be. So let's take a quick look at liquidation in the liquidity heat map. And you can see we came down here and made that big move at 66,733, right? Well, that means that we pulled the liquidity that we were looking for. If they were hunting for it, then they found it, right? So now the next move, it looks like, would be to rip this back up in here. And Jesus Christ, I just talked myself out of staying that long position, 68,534. We're actually going to move back over here and we're going to take this and we're going to change it to 68.5. We're going to change that to 68,500, and that'll be a $91 win if it happens. So if that happens, then we'll take 68.5 and we'll call that victory. And there it is. So now the next question is going to be like, what do we have to trade over here? So let's pull this up a little bit, and I'm going to hit a drop down menu, and you can see what projects that are available here on KCEX if you want to trade. So you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Pepe, Doge, Ina. I don't know what that is. Tau. You got Whiff, Dog with Hat. Dog with Hat. God damn it. That's actually. You know what? That should be the one, guys. If you're looking for, by the way, if you're looking to go long, then if for some of these meme coins or something like that, this seems like a pretty good one so far. Aptos. You got Phantom, CKB, Pendle, Mubi, Saga, XRP, Near, Fetch, Arbitrum, Pixel, Shib, Grok. And by the way, kind of aggressive trading volume. This is actually not too bad here. 2.6 billion in trading volume on Bitcoin. Now, I don't see that the information is coming from a different provider. So KCEX seems to have a pretty good amount of volume at this point. I'm gonna have to do again. I'm doing a little research. Like I just partnered with these guys at the referral of an agent from MEXC. So they seem to be pretty comfortable with them. But if I click volume here and I start looking at it, then Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bohm, Ina, Sol, Doge, Tau, BNB, XRP, not huge volume, but decent volume, certainly, and specifically on Bitcoin. But it seems like they have a pretty good amount. They have Tensor in here. There's Bitcoin Cash, File, Avalanche. So there's plenty of different options for you. And as I scroll down here, meme coins, we're always interested in memes, right? So down here, we've got Bohm, Doge, Pepe, Dog with Hat, Ordinal, Ordi, Shib, Floki, Meme. We've got Wen. We've got Pepe, Community. We've got Grok. We've got Bone. and we've got Turbo. Jesus Christ, I thought Turbo was dead. All right, well, maybe not. So then we have the Solana system over here. So in that context, you got Myro over here, you got Jupiter, Jito, you've got Tensor, you've got Dog with Hat, Solana, of course, and Bohm. So there's a lot of options for you to trade. For layer twos, you got Matic. For layer ones, you got ETH, BNB, Saga, Link, Phantom. All right. Tia, Psy, and CHZ. God damn it, I can't remember what the name of that was. Chili's. That's what it was. You got proof of work. You got storage. You got DeFi. So there's a bunch of different options over here. All you have to do is go check this out. So if you go sign up, then let's see what happens. Now, somebody just brought up a question. What is the lowest ETH and Bitcoin can go? Well, the answer to that is 0. That's the lowest that they can go. But the most likely move, if there's going to be such a move, is we zoom out here, and there's a lot of support. As we zoom out, you can see this red line that I gave you yesterday when we were doing this. This is probably where we're going to bounce if there's a catastrophic scenario in which we start to just fall. If we can't hold on to it, and we break this level, and we're headed down. And if we're truly headed down, then we're going to most likely get caught at this range right here, which is going to represent a little bottom right there around 61,100, and then 51,600. And then there are some people like Coinon saying that Bitcoin might go to 48K, which would be my guess. Well, you know what? There's not really a spot here that says that 48K is going to be that area, except that you have this kind of range right here. And you can see that we did get rejected right here at 48, right there, a long time ago, and then again not that long back. So these are the levels that you're probably going to be looking at for support. And there's a long way to go, because you do have to remember, even when you look at this in context, like there's a lot of resistance going through this range right here in the 50s. So it's not likely that we're going to 48,000. It's not likely we're going to 51,000. None of that's likely. We are in war, so you never really know what will happen. We're down $50 billion on the day right now. U.S. market woke up and acted like little bitches, which is, I mean, it's the U.S. market, so you know what they're going to do. They're going to cry and you know what I mean? So, my liquidation in Bitcoin is at 5K. Is there any chance it just flash wicks and I get liquidated? I'm on, but there's no there. I mean, look, you never know what kind of BS one of these places, what they're going to do, but will it literally go down to 5,000? No, it will not. Not unless it's highly manipulated. And I mean, anything is possible when a market is being manipulated. Of course, the markets are always being manipulated. So there is a chance, but not really. I don't see that as even close. And if you meant 50K, there's a chance on 50K for sure, but not 5. So anyway, it's very volatile right now. If I go down here, by the way, look at 5-minute chart. Look at how volatile everything is right now. You had this big rip. You had it come down. We had yesterday what happened. Then we had this big buyback coming back in. Then we got this sideways action, and we're still bearish. And then it just kind of tanked, right there. Um, Carlos Steele Me Lamba. Okay. So anyway, it looks like the market is still in sell-off mode. Again, U.S. market still doing its thing. So we've entered into, and we're down, by the way, just a little bit. So we're down about $6 off of that. So as long as it doesn't hit 64,000, then we're going to be fine. Again, I set it for 68.5. So if something good happens, then there we are. If nothing good happens and we just continue to dump, which that is entirely possible as well. If we continue to, I don't think that it is. I think that people are going to see this as a buy opportunity, and something to remember here. Even though there's something going on right now worldwide, there's opportunism that's happening. Number one, Bitcoin ETFs. So we have Bitcoin ETFs popping up in the United States. Potentially, we've got Ethereum ETFs popping up in the United States. Now, that in itself helps to prop the price of Bitcoin up, which is why I went ahead and went with Bitcoin instead of some other altcoins. Now, the second piece to that is it is expected that on Monday, Hong Kong is going to announce a Bitcoin and an Ethereum ETF. And if that happens, then they're going to start buying Bitcoin off of exchanges as well, probably in the same, almost in the same fashion as the United States, probably a similar structure in which they're not able to buy OTC. They're going to have to buy on exchange. So, and it'll probably be a regulated exchange or something like that. So, those things are underlying everything that we're doing right now. So, how much further down can we really go? Well, listen, anything's possible, but it's not probable at this point that we're going to see something like that happen. It's not probable because there's too much money now invested into this market. And look, there's whales that can always do manipulation, but any manipulation that's done is probably going to be counteracted immediately. We're in the bullish scenario of the market where when that last little stretch, let's move back out here and look at it in a longer term. We're in that last sort of bullish stretch before the halving, which is coming up. I want to say now it's on the 19th. Let me pull this up. All right. So, and by the way, this is why they're out of sync. This is the famously pre-planned programmatic event currently predicted for April 19 is surprisingly hard to predict at minute scales. The Bitcoin network halving is fast approaching, likely to fall in 7 days, April 19, according to recent estimates. But tried to pin down the exact minute or even hour is surprisingly unpredictable. Just take a look at any of the Bitcoin halving countdowns; they're all out of sync. Everything is out of sync. Everybody's just kind of guessing how many blocks it's going to take, how much further we have to go, and it's just they're kind of estimating at this point how fast a block is created, on average. And look, if interest picks up and a lot more people and a lot more people start doing stuff, trading, then it goes a little bit faster. So it's and Karasi says BlackRock could also manipulate to buy back at lower prices. Nothing new for hedge funds. I don't think so. I don't think so. And also, but isn't the Bitcoin narrative not already priced in? I don't know what the Bitcoin narrative. If you mean, if you mean, is the ETF narratives already priced in? I think the U.S. one is. But is the Hong Kong one? Well, I don't think so. I don't think so because it's been kind of quiet so far, and there's no By the way, there's no real incentive for businesses. We don't know the volume of what they're going to do. Like, how much are they going to buy? Are they going to really be interested? And is the Chinese government going to allow what we want to see happen to happen? So, there's a lot of questions that are still out there. So, is it priced in? Probably not. If you go back here, and I'm going to tell you the news that we got in January. January, right here is the approval. Okay. So this line, let me drop a line here. We'll talk about this real quick. Right here, this is where the approval came in. Okay. So the question was, is the Bitcoin, is this priced in? So the answer to that is, well, it can't be. It can't be because we wouldn't see something like this playing out. Here's what we saw when the Bitcoin halving happened. On that day, I see clearly. So we had a low of 45,588. We had a high of 48,975, and then we dumped. And then what happened? We dumped all the way down to, wait for it, 38,524. So most people were saying, well, obviously it was priced in. But then a few days later, look at what happened. So was the launch of it priced in? Well, no, it was buy the rumor, sell the news. It wasn't a matter of whether it was priced in or not, because if it was priced in, then we wouldn't be where we are right now. So it's not priced in at this point. Or at least there's speculative people who are preparing to dump in case Hong Kong does that. But how much further down is it going to go? Well, they don't have I'm going to say right here, 61,000. That probably ends up being the spot if there is a spot, so to speak. for where we get the bounce this time. And by the way, if we take the percentage here from the top to that bottom, that was a 20% dip. So if we come over here, could there be another 20% dip? What would 20% from where we are right now look like? 20% from where we are right now would look like 54,000. However, we're not going to look at it that way because we're not looking from this moment. We're going to look from the top to the bottom. So what does it look like more from the top of this range to the bottom? Then it looks like 58,000. As a matter of fact, 58,000 might even be representative of moving out here. Yeah, some tops over here. So that's a fair enough range to say that we're probably going to get caught in this range and probably continue to bounce off of it. And by the way, fundamentally, even though, like I was kind of aggressive with this drawing right here, but I mean, if I just move this out just a little bit, I mean, you can see here, like we still have a wedge. We still have a wedge formed here that's going to break out, and the most likely breakout for this wedge pattern is gonna be to the upside. And by the way, I did see some people on motherfucker. Nothing annoys me more than when people are like, does this look bullish to you? And then I saw, and it was my guy Pablo, by the way. If you guys don't know Pablo Crow, he does I don't know what the fuck he does now. It was he posted something about um Promethean Prodigy was what it was. Jesus Christ, that's all it is. Okay, all right. He said something about whether or not the pattern that he was looking. Oh, here we go. So Pampy right here. So that breaks to the downside. Um, if you pull up a forex pattern cheat sheet and you look at any one of those scenarios for a breakout when you have a flat bottom, and I don't think he's right, by the way. I think that actually the reason that it doesn't matter is because I think it's more like this, and that's a descending channel, and that's going to break to the upside. But if you're just minting the same level here and you're coming down like this, that's going to break to the bottom. Let me pop this up on the screen here so you can see. Oh god damn, I should probably do that before. So what Pablo said was, where's the TA expert at? Is this bullish or is this bullish? Well, this right here is not bullish. That breaks to the downside 78% of the time. That's not bullish. However, it actually isn't. It's this right here and this right here because it's minting lower lows and lower highs. So it's coming down through a channel to a consolidation point, wherever that consolidation point is. Then it should break towards the upside. Just depends on how far down it would continue to go. And for the benefit of Pablo, let's pop this up on the screen. By the way, I don't follow Promethean Prodigy. I'm going to stay volted, I guess, would be my. By the way, still got the volt thing in the background. But here we go. Still 2.1 thousand holders and 3.4 million in liquidity. So, I mean, Jesus Christ, like there's no fucking way. Here's the most likely scenario of play out is that it's not going to go from here. It's going to come back down to here on this range. So this is this is the actual support level. This is consolidating in this range. So at best, you could say that this is a parallel channel popping like this and like that. So could it break to the upside? Sure, but most likely it's going to continue doing this until it comes down to this range right there. And it might be, I might be a little aggressive with it. But I mean, you can see like most likely this thing comes down to this range. So if you are a Promethean Prodigy holder, or if you're looking to get into Promethean Prodigy, I'm not telling you what to do, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor, but this looks to me like it's going to continue doing this kind of shit all the way down into this range, and then that's where it would come, and explode from. My opinion, by the way, because this is and let me also state this for the record: 2,000 holders, 3.4 million in liquidities. That's ridiculous. Okay, what that means is there are a couple of millionaires holding on to the price floor, which is good. By the way, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that you have people holding the floor. with 2,000 holders. However, the other part to that is, I mean, if you start going around and you start looking at some of these different tokens, I mean, let's just go with like Myro. Myro has the less liquidity, 136 million market cap, and 48,000 holders. Compare, and again, we're comparing apples to apples. So what you're looking at is you're looking at Promethean Prodigy is probably being propped up by Pablo and Power because I think they're financially set. I think so. I'm not sure, but I think I think Pablo kind of goes out of his way to tell people that. So I think that he's financially secure. Power, I think, is as well. So I think they're probably holding at least 1.5 million, 2 million in liquidity on this. And the original, the creator probably has a good amount. If you see here, the circulating supply is 512 million and the total supply is 735 million. So the owner is still holding 220 million in supply. So I would be concerned at this point for whatever. I don't know what's going to happen, but again, if you like it, I don't have any reason to think, by the way, that this is a bad project. So when I say this, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just price is where price goes. You know what I mean? Like, should come down here into this range of 1,700 before it takes off again. And by the way, even if we get to the halving, something like this is probably not going to take off at first. It's going to take a little while for it to get cooking and going. If you want something that's going to do 1 billion market cap, by the way, I'm not telling you what to buy, but if you want 1 billion market cap, it's right here. It's MAGA. It's going to be Donald Trump MAGA token right here, and wrapped Ethereum. I'd be looking at the liquidity, and I would be looking to make sure that's not, like it's 46.5 million circulating supply. It's already gone up to $11.60 at one point, sitting at 520 right now. It's got 1 billion market cap written all over it as we get closer to the election, because the right, the Donald Trump side, is very libertarian in principle and closely more closely aligned than Democrats with cryptocurrency. So I think this thing is going to absolutely just explode like it did right here. And when you consider this, it's minting a new floor. So if you just look at it and just use what I just said about Pampy, there's a range right here, and that range was right there where it was going to come back down to, right? Well, it came back down to that level. This is a very strong project, by the way. It came down on a very strong project and did that. Now, what it's going to have to do here is break out of its trend line here. But, again, let me be specific here. This is coming down like this, and that's going across like that. This is going to break to the downside if it continues to go, because we're going to get less and less people interested. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what's going to end up happening is, I think this is going to break to the upside here. And then this sort of range right there is what we're going to kind of use as a trend line for a while, to break every once in a while. Like everything breaks at some point. But, we got the bounce off of the support, and here we are. So, all right. Um, let's do. All right, Miles, you're gonna be in timeout for 5 minutes because, dude, you can't say that shit. Miles, you got 5 minutes. Don't come back doing that shit. Um, at this point, yes, yeah. At this point, yes. There's no real, like, I'm 100% pro crypto. I don't give a shit about the rest of it. This is about crypto and adoption. That's what this is about. So I'm gonna be all in on whoever it is that most closely supports cryptocurrency. And at this point, it's the Republican Party. Is it Donald Trump? It is, because it wasn't before. The statements that he had made previously had been not in support of cryptocurrency. He thought that Bitcoin was an attack on the US dollar. And, well, guess what? He's now changed his mind. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. And by the way, you can not like the guy, because he is kind of a wild, wild weirdo. And I'm sure in many ways an absolute psycho. But he's willing to change his mind. He's willing to adapt to the needs of the people who vote for him. So I think that you should, at least if you're crypto savvy, should be looking at Donald Trump as your guy. Will that be enough? I don't think it will. I think he's going to get dominated in this next election. And I think, before we were crying about, man, it was stolen. No, it wasn't stolen. People don't like him. He's the least liked president in the history of polls. People just don't like him. And there's a lot of people who like him because everybody sees Jim Jones. Everybody sees him being like this psycho cult leader. And look, whether he is or not, that doesn't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. I don't believe any of the bullshit that they say, but I don't believe any bullshit that the other side says either. You know what I mean? So, and I don't believe what the media says. And then listen, if you look at if you do your libtard and CNN and you do your stupid bullshit about that, well, you know what? They're lying to you as much as the U.S. World News Max, Fox News. They're all lying to you. Everybody's lying to you because they want you for something. They want you for ad revenue, and they give you this echo chamber so that you can get reinforced. And then you think, by the way, that you're a giant majority. Both sides do think they're a giant majority because they're only listening to the people that they want to hear. And things like X and things like Twitter, all of those things, they're just creating bigger echo chambers. So you think, and because I'm in crypto, I see it all the time, right? I see it constantly. All of these people are talking about all these different people, and no wars waged though. Yeah, I mean those kind of things are nice. Like I don't. I'm not dis. Most people, most people would listen. Dan, I appreciate that. Um, but I'm not a pussy, right? I'm not a little bitch. So Donald Trump, if anybody doesn't remember Jamal Khashoggi was a Saudi citizen who was in the United States, was working in the United States, was had become a citizen of the United States, walked into an embassy in Turkey, and was immediately chopped up into pieces by the Saudi government. Donald Trump didn't do shit. Okay, this guy was chopped up into pieces and taken out in bags, and they had it on video. They had everything. And what did Donald Trump do? He sold weapons to Saudi Arabia. Why? Because he just cared about the money. He didn't care about people. So when you say that there was no war, yeah, that's fair because he's a pussy. Because what he did was he was just like, let's just keep selling them weapons. By the way, in case nobody remembers, 17 of the 19 terrorists that took down the World Trade Center were Saudi in origin. So, who are our friends? Come on. So yeah, but again, even if I disagree with any of that, and I think he's a little weak stick pussy, and his wife looks like she's trans, you know what I mean? Even if I don't like him, I'm still gonna vote for him. I don't like Joe Biden either. They're all garbage. And then we have the MAGA conspiracies of, yeah, he was a spy or some shit like that, right? And so we don't protect our spies, is what you're saying. We don't retaliate when one of our spies is killed. You know what I mean? We make up excuses to support the people that we want. I'll tell you this: Chicago Brew is voting for Donald Trump. He's all in on Donald Trump. He says shit like Q and shaman and all of that kind of shit. Like this is not my first rodeo. So and all of that means that you're being lied to by an echo chamber, and you're being lied to by another echo chamber. And look, by the way, um, the place where you're going to go to get like the truth, by the way, is X, but it's going to be manipulated. It's going to be bastardized for you. So if you're looking at doinks like idiots like Laura Loomer or Benny Johnson or something like that, they're going to lie to you, they're going to deceive you, they're going to manipulate you. And when you don't like what they have to say, you're going to call them demon rats or rhinos, or you're just going to make shit up because you don't like what they're saying, even if it's the truth, because you don't want that to be the truth. You want that to be your different thing. So, and I don't give a shit about any of that. So I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because I want crypto to succeed, and I think that he gives it the best chance for it to succeed, and that it would boom the economy. And hey, if we fall off a cliff, no big fucking deal for me because I'll have Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So I don't give a shit. But anyway, so I digress. Um, oh, I don't mean to put I don't mean to put words into your mouth. But weren't you doing that to me? Weren't you telling me that Khashoggi was an agent? You don't have any evidence for that other than your conspiracy. There's no evidence of any of that shit. So, BMO Cola, what would happen to crypto if the dollar crashes? Crypto would explode because crypto represents a hedge against the US dollar going down. And we kind of work right now opposite of the dollar. The Bitcoin and the DXY are kind of decoupled. Here's the DXY. Let's pop this up. So you can see here the DXY right now, the dollar is exploding in value and Bitcoin is heading down in value. So short term, by the way, I guess we should do this on the hour. So you can see here that there's kind of a dump here, and at the same time, there's a pump here. So when you see right here, big dump during big pump. You know what I mean? So, well, if you said how the Dems, then I didn't put words in your mouth. I just said exactly what you were wanting to say. If you're saying the Dems, gotcha. All right. Selmo Fudd says Bitcoin. What is it? Selmo says Bitcoin is not going to 30,000 in 2023. You know what I mean? Woo. Anyway, yeah, presidents are puppets. Even they have a boss who they report to. Um, not really, not really. But I do, but I do understand. Um, I do understand what you're saying. I mean, it's not that easy. But yeah, there are people that you're going to have to answer to in many different ways. And we're down 9% on Myro now. Another dump on Myro. Another dump on Dog with Hat. Another dump on Solana. Another dump on Render. We're down about 10% on a lot of these. Altcoins are bleeding one more time yet again. So we're on that come down a little bit more. So the one thing that we've got right now, which is why I said, probably do this, is going to be Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues on its path downward, then we could be in trouble. But I don't think that we are. I think that right now what we're looking at is everything that's going on. Um, I think that um, we're probably going to catch right here around 65,000. If we don't, then we're going to catch 61,000, and then we're going to have a nice little bounce off of it. By the way, if we zoom out here, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn off high IQ, by the way, for the moment, and we're just going to look at the volume profile. So if we're looking at the volume profile, it kind of tells us what's going to happen, right? Well, Bitcoin's trading in this range right here, and it continues to trade in this range. With the edge of this is kind of down here at 61,000, 65,000. Then over here is a node, and this node right um, here on the chart, that line right there, which is why I put this red line right there, that represents another node, and that's where we're going to get support. So this little range right here of support and this little range right here where we bounce, that's going to be the next kind of spot right there of contention if we come down to this level, if we don't just reject and come back up from 65. And then in the event that this area breaks, then we've got this kind of range right here, which takes us to 56,000 right there. And then we have this range down here. So, I mean, those are kind of the levels. So you're looking at 65,000, you're looking at 61,000, you're looking at 57,000, and then you're looking at 51,000 if everything breaks down. But I don't think everything's going to break down. I don't think everything is going to break down at all. I think that there's a lot of volume in this range here. There's a lot of positives on Bitcoin. I mean, really, I'm talking about it like it's Bitcoin, but I mean, the question is how far down is something like Ethereum going to go? How far down is something like Solana going to go? Those are the ones that are eating it right now. If you look at the overall chart here, then you can see that Bitcoin is down 0.8% on the day, Myro down 10%. Solana down 10%, Render down 11%, The market is down 2.5%. So people are not exiting Bitcoin. People are exiting everything else. They are exiting Bitcoin, by the way. We are having a sell-off on Bitcoin. And by the way, since we're having this capitulation event, there might be some new news that just popped up. So let's see if there's any devastation in Gaza. Um, U.S. Secretary of State will be at Biden's national security team meeting. Anthony Blinken will be at the meeting. U.S. identifies U.S. aid worker killed in Jaffa, Israel. So, White House condemns Iran seizure of Portuguese flagged cargo ship. U.S. Defense Minister speaks with Israeli Defense Minister to discuss urgent regional threats. There's still, we're still sending up the smoke signals. The question is whether anything will happen. So let's refresh the liquidation map on the 24-hour. And again, we're still on a green candle for this region here. We've already kind of wicked down into this range. It could be that we come down into 65,000 into this. There's this everything glowing yellow down here at the bottom. That becomes in play. But there's a lot of people shorting right now that are in play as well. So I would say that a 68,450 move is probably in the cards. We'll see something like this happen pretty soon, and they'll come up into that 68,450 sort of range. But that's a guess. That's a wild guess. If you look, by the way, at this, then again on the 5 minute, then this is a wildly. It's just a 5 minute chart right here, and this is wildly volatile. So this thing is there's a lot going on, and a lot of people deciding whether or not they're going to stay in, going to stay out. How this market's going to go. So all right, Meme Alliance is pumping 33%. Crypto Degen says 56K would be rough. I don't think so. I mean, is it really rough? I mean, let's go back and like, I mean, if you look fundamentally at Bitcoin and everything, I mean, is it really? I mean, look at the run that we've had so far. To think that there's no correction is kind of wild. And if we consider this is where the move kind of took off right here. We're going to just call it October here, and we're going to say that's kind of where the move took off. Like if we just do a standard fib retracement, and I know, by the way, there's a lot of lines here, but it's my goddamn show. We're going to drop that. I'm going to drop that. Like to come down to the 0.382 and retrace to 56,000, that's not bad. It's the altcoins that are getting obliterated right now. 45,000 is where that 618 line is. And by the way, if we take this out and we say, well, the real parabolic move happened right here on January 24th, and we consider that, then it's even worse. I mean, 618 line would be right there at that 52,000 where I told you that the support is. And then the 46 is kind of that 48 range where people are talking about, that we're going to get a bounce from the top of that last one. But I mean, there it is. There is seriously some opportunity. And by the way, I mean, this is, if you're buying at the top, it's on you. You know what I mean? If you buy tops, you get top action. So let's see how this all plays out. I'm just curious to see how it's going to play. Right now, we're down about $20. We're down 20% on this, and already lost $2 in a funding fee. Ain't that a bitch? By the way, most probably, it's matter of fact, if we look at the weekly candles, weekly here, we have 4 red candles out of our last bunch of weekly candles. So it's going to take a lot to it's going to take a big move in the next 24 and a half hours. We close in about 30 hours. So in the next 30 hours, we're going to have a significant move. We're going to have a significant move. Otherwise, we're just going to close another red candle, which, by the way, doesn't really, like, I'm not really worried about it because we're consolidating in range. And what people are not understanding is, this is where we sit. Even if we're having 4 red candles, it's 4 red candles at $70,000, you know? Like, we're not going down. This is just another move. It's just another we're just waiting for the next big move up, you know what I mean? The question is just gonna be, how far down does everything else go? Do we get a reversal? There's a little bit of uncertainty, there's a little bit of unrest. The world right now is holding their breath with Israel and Iran. And we'll see what happens here. And I don't know, but we're long on Bitcoin. If you guys want to do some trading and you don't want a KYC, by the way, MEXC, KYC, FEMX, KYC, Bing, KYC, KCEX, non KYC. So sign up at any one of those and start trading today. And by the way, for your security, make sure you use NordVPN. And if you haven't already, make sure you go check out BenCoin. You may not like Ben, you may not like what's going on, but Ben's probably the biggest influencer in crypto, or one of the top 5 in crypto. And guess what happens there? What happens there is when the retail really comes back, when there's really so. And by the way, they're not talking about it for anybody who's wondering. The reason that you're not hearing a whole lot about BenCoin, that really, other than me, that we're not really talking about, is because everything is not in place yet. Until everything is in place, it's gonna be quiet. So it's just a matter of taking a deep breath, chilling out, and giving a little time to grow. And look, if you put yourself in a bad position, if you put yourself in a bad investment position, then you're going to be super mad. My API 3 is actually down. It was up until until this week. But look here, this actually gives you probably a pretty good example here, right there. So we're at that 786 line. So I'm going to accumulate a little bit more at $2.20, and then boom. Hopefully we take off from there and get a nice little rip back to the upside. And I'll be in profit a lot quicker and a lot faster, because if you guys remember, I bought at 279 originally, or 276, I want to say. Um, but Render doing the same thing. I mean, if you look at Render and you go from that move, which it kind of looks like right there. If you look at that move right there, came to the 618, came all the way into the golden pocket, and then started to reverse from there. So, you know, these things are eating it right now, but it's not going to stay that way. It will not stay that way. Oh, by the way, there you go. And man, Selmo could not be more wrong. Well, you know what? XRP at some point is going to just explode. I mean, it really is going to explode. Now, in case anybody was wondering, what did I do with my last prediction here? What is the French word for fucking nailed it? Because I told you guys it was coming down in this descending channel, and then it would most likely bounce down here one more time, and then it would break to the upside, and it would come up into this 62 range. Well, I got that part wrong. It went up to 74 cents, but now it's coming back down. If you look at that one, also on a longer time frame, then you can see here that we're down below that golden pocket. So expect a big recovery from XRP in the next little while. And let's pop up one more thing. This is the RSI heat map. So if you're looking for gems that you might want to grab while the timing is right, on the 24-hour chart, everything is in the red. So everything down here is about to have an enormous run. So what I would do is Sushi Swap, Uniswap, like I would probably stay away from them for the moment. Probably a lot of downward pressure on those. But Sandbox, Mana, CRV, Ape, Blur, Didex, Atom, Aptos, everything's coming down here. Now on the weekly RSI, look at this. Everything is just cascading down. So I would definitely look at something like, if Blur comes down enough, Sui comes down. By the way, my initial move was going to get into Sui. That was the one that I was going to pick up. Um, uh, but I just decided, let's go with Bitcoin. Let's see what happens with Bitcoin first. But they got a whole bunch of these. And if you haven't already, you can go check this out. CoinGlass, coinglass.com/pro/i/RSI heat map. So, if you ever want to come over here and check it out, like basically all you have to do, and this is gas, so it really doesn't count. But if you see something come down into this range, fucking buy it. You know what I mean? Like just buy it. Will it come back down a little bit more? Yeah, maybe. But I mean, don't leverage your position. Don't 10x it or 20x it like an idiot like me, and get wrecked. But Sui is in here in this weak position. Well, Sui's going to come back over here to the overbought position, because if you haven't, by the way, checked out, and I'm not gonna rant on Sui right now, but if you look at this thing, probably Sui. Um, anyway, but it's the fastest blockchain out there. 297,000 transactions per second, compared to Solana, compared to Avalanche, compared to Ethereum. Then the time to finality, 400 microseconds. So that's wild. And then transactions per epic. I mean, this is a super fast, and so far super stable. And if you are a hacker, in any fundamental way, then enter this hackathon and prove that you can hack it. Because if you can't, then it's pretty fucking secure. And then here's how you build in Sui. I mean, I really think that, and by the way, Sunny Liu, the founder here, he does a lot of, he's doing a lot of speeches and stuff like that. They were the first real world asset company. They were the first people with real world asset stuff going on in the world 7 years ago. So Sui is probably the best blockchain. So that was what I wanted to start off with, and I was going to go long on it, but I'm just not comfortable with it right now. It's like right now, it just doesn't, this is probably the buy. This was probably the buy zone at $1. So, if you can get in a good position leveraged, at the dollar, sure. If you're at $1.10 right now, maybe, but, I would definitely buy a bag of this and just kind of hold on to it for a little while, because when you look at like market cap and stuff, I mean, first of all, again, recognize this is the fastest blockchain around. And at number 58 is where it's ranked. It has a $1.4 billion market cap. So that's 100x. It goes to 144 billion market cap. Volume trading 489 million. Like, it's still undiscovered. There's a big undiscovered sort of asset. Um, if and by the way, if you're looking for cryptos where, like, I want to hold on to a bag of crypto for a period of time, I'll give you three of them right now. The first one is going to be Sui. It's going to be Sui. The next one is going to be Pith. Pith Network, 872 million market cap, 140 million in volume. Look at how far it came down, though, right? So Pith is the best Solana Oracle project. So, and Pythagoras is the father of modern mathematics. And then the next one is, this is my baby right here, API 3. API 3 is a real world asset protocol that already bridges Apple stocks, all kinds of different stocks on a bunch of different blockchains. So at API 3 will absolutely explode at some point. And it's going to, by the way, API 3 is at $2.42 right now. This is going to be $100. This is going to be 100. It could be up to $200. So this thing is going to get absolutely crazy. So, and look, if you go to their website, by the way, this is a very simple one. This gives you an idea of what they do, right? You can come over here and you can look on BNB chain right now. If you're looking at BNB chain, you can come to the BNB chain and you can buy Apple stock. Again, you can buy Amazon stock. You can buy. Oh, wait a minute. I should do equities. You can buy Meta, and Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, gold. You can invest in the SPY, Tesla, TSM, JP Morgan, Intel, Google, GameStop, Disney. There's plenty of different opportunities that you have on this thing. So this is absolutely bonkers. What you have that's available to you. So, and somebody just asked me to check Pepe. I'm not normally a Pepe maxi, but and by the way, I don't have anything bad to say about that fat guy that made everybody go Porky or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know, the Porky guy, Porky OX. I Jesus Christ. I can't believe he wrecked everybody. Imagine how many people got wrecked from Porky X doing that pork token. Jesus Christ. So Pepe is, let's do this on a day chart. Let's drop that down. Give me 1 second here. All right, there we go. All right, so Pepe on the daily. Whoops, we don't want to do that. Not yet. Pepe on the daily is, by the way, Pepe is one of them that has a chance to be the first one to like 100 billion market cap. Pepe's got this. Pepe's going to probably drop more. I would look for Pepe to come down into this range. If you're looking to accumulate, I would accumulate down here in the 30 to 4, 5 zeros 4 sort of range right now, because this magnificent move that it did. That's just the start. We're not the halving yet, so there's more opportunity for downside. So I would be looking for some buying opportunity right in that range. But once we get into that buy range, once that's happened, then I would expect, let's see. I would expect to see Pepe at 4 zeros 25 at some point. So, this thing is going to have just a wild ass run. Like Pepe is going to explode a lot. I guess I should say. So, 70 billion market cap, 80 billion market cap, maybe even 100 billion market cap. This thing is going to absolutely go nuts. Anyway, guys, that's my time. It is time for me to go to the gym. Let's get the swole on. So thank you for tuning in, guys. If you haven't, again, go check out KCEX. MEXC if you don't mind KYC. I don't mind KYC. I'm KYC with everybody. BingX, Femex, go check it out. If you like Ben Armstrong, Femex, that's the one to use, because I'm partnered with Ben with Femex. So if you want to support both of us, that's the easiest way to do it. Go sign up for Femex and start trading today. And by the way, if you are a holder and not, again, we're using high IQ. We're using high IQ for our trading strategies. So when we come over here and set this up, if you're using high IQ, then you can go down into this portal right here, and you can load your strategy, and you can start trading today on TradingView using Femex and high IQ. And there's an indicator that you can download. Once you get high IQ, then you get high IQ, you get the high IQ oscillator. I'll show you this real quick. You get high IQ, you get the high IQ oscillator, and then you get the Trade Master. And the Trade Master is the one that allows you, it helps you to do trading. So you can like set it and forget it, if you will. So it's a really kind of cool opportunity. And I know, look, some of you are probably waiting for the big move. You're not able to pay for it or something like that. But if you're a trader and you're doing trading, then high IQ is the shit. So definitely go check that out. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be very careful. I would be, if you're looking for information, like I would be setting yourself a tickler and an alert for Iran, using like Google Alerts or something like that when you get news, and just start picking through and try to figure out what's going on. If you really want to know what's going to happen, and if you see something like bombs are dropping, sell. You know what I mean? Sell everything, put it into stable, and then wait for okay, all clear, and then buy everything back at a cheaper price. You know what I mean? Like it's not that complicated. You just have to do it. So anyway, that's my time, guys. Let's get out of here. We're gonna play a bill. We're gonna pay a bill first, and then we're out. Researching crypto is so important, guys. Go to Cryptonomy.finance/research today and learn more about AI, DAOs, DeFi, gaming, layer 1 or layer 2, memes, gaming, NFTs, Web3, whatever you need to know, exploring meme coin trends. All the information is available to you. Now make sure you sign up as a VIP or a pro member. Looking at my fixed deposits, guys, you can see right now I just put in another 3 ETH that I'm holding until April 5 of 2025. Let me show you the details here. So at the end of this, my scheduled interest is going to be 3.23 Ethereum. So I'm earning 3 Ethereum for letting them hold on to it for 1 year as a staking process. I anticipate a fantastic payout from this. But guys, the big money is made over here on the launch pool. Make sure that you're checking it out. I'm a bronze member. Remember, I put in about 0.48 Bitcoin with an expected rate of return of 1 to 5x. I'm taking a risk here. If I only get a 1x, I think I'll still be fine. But as you can see right now, I've already accumulated 83,691 USDT for my efforts so far. How much Bitcoin is that? It's quite a bit. Go to Cryptonomy.finance today.